Coming up next, SPNN's Neighborhood News. Hi, I'm Sherine Onukwuwe. Welcome to SPNN's Neighborhood News. On this program, we interview district councils and we go out in the neighborhood and find out what people are talking about. St. Paul has a history of strong community and neighborhood participation. The district council system is a big part of that. There are 17 councils, each representing a different area of St. Paul. The district councils are independent organizations, but they do get some funding from the city as well as other sources like grants and donations. Much of the work being done by the councils is done by volunteers, community members, who want to participate in the life of their neighborhood and their community. On today's show, we talk with representatives from District Councils 1, 13, and 14. Stay with us. Right now, we're talking with Board Member Ann White and Executive Director Julie Reiter from District Council 13. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi.
Thanks for talking with us today. We have quite a bit to talk about, particularly in, first of all, before we get into that, can you, one of you tell me what defines District 13? What areas does that?
District 13 is the Union Park District Council, and our northern border is University Avenue. Our southern border is Summit. And then we go from Lexington on the east to the river on the west. So it's a pretty diverse cross-section there of that part of St. Paul.
And tell me what neighborhoods is included in District 13?
Well, there are multiple neighborhoods. It used to be 3 councils, Merriam Park, Snelling Hamlin, and Hamlin Lexington, and they were joined together in 2007. The majority of the neighborhood is a mix of single-family homes and apartment buildings on tree-lined streets. A lot of it is very pretty. There are also some business nodes in the district, including the whole Midway Shopping Center north of I-94, between I-94 and University Avenue. So those are 3 great big blocks up there. And also up north of I-94, there's a high-rise called Skyline Tower with about 1,000 predominantly East African immigrants living there. And then we have Denoyer Park, which is right by the Mississippi River, which is a beautiful neighborhood in and of itself. There's a tiny little jewel of a neighborhood called Iris Park, which is right up by University Avenue near Fairview. So it's a real mix of different things in the neighborhood.
And what about the soul, the feeling of when you're in District 13? I'm sure it's different in different places, but how would you characterize that?
There are a lot of houses in District 13 that were built in the in the teens or the 20s, and people are very proud of their beautiful woodwork and the designs of the old houses, and they tend to be very well kept up in general. So that's a quality to the neighborhood, a traditional quality that I think people value.
Yeah, I agree. And we both live in the district actually. And one of the reasons that I chose to live here is that there is such variety. There are lots of university students that live in our district because we've got St. Thomas and Concordia within our district, and Hamlin and McAllister close by. And I really enjoy that. There's a variety of things going on and ages of people and renters and homeowners and a lot of businesses to walk to. It's a vibrant place. Okay.
So there are some developments new developments that are happening in District 13 that maybe are creating a bit of controversy. Can you talk about what those are?
Sure. I'll start by talking a little bit about the intersection of Snelling and Selby. Right there at the corner, the Associated Bank building is going to be taken down, and in its place will be put 5 stories of apartments with Whole Foods at the street level. It'll be about twice as big, I think, as the Whole
Yeah.
Foods that currently exists on Grand, so that one will be closed. And when neighbors in the area started learning about this development, there was some concern because the intersection is really congested already with a lot of traffic. And people were concerned about bikeability and pedestrian safety. And so we actually, as a district council, did some proactive things to try to mitigate some of those concerns and actually affect change. And one thing that Ann did as the land use chair is put together a task force of residents, small business owners, representatives from the city public works, MnDOT, and also staff and volunteers from the district council to all sit at the table together and talk about concrete solutions that we could recommend to make changes in that area. And we actually did come out with some recommendations to make some small infrastructure changes in the intersections nearby there that will make, we think, a big difference in making it more walkable and sort of try to steer some of the traffic away from that heart of that intersection.
So there is a huge residential tower, the Skyline Towers, and there's some work that you've been doing, Ann, with that in regard to the corridor. Why
Right.
don't you talk about that?
You know, when the new green line was being planned, there were 3 places where there were no stations. One was at Hamlin and Victoria and Western. And a whole coalition of different groups got together to fight to get those 3 stations put in. And Skyline Tower became a part of that and began, a few of the residents began coming to meetings and helping to advocate for the Hamlin station. And then out of that, they formed a leadership team that has been working on issues to improve the building and the area around the building. There was no sidewalk along St. Anthony Avenue south of the building, and it was very dangerous. There are lots of kids in the building, and they got a sidewalk put in, working with the Union Park District Council. And now they see the opportunity. They have 2 big projects they're working on. One is to build an international marketplace somewhere near Skyline Tower. And the other is to get some green space right near Skyline Tower, including a soccer field, because they have lots of young people who want to play soccer and no place to play it. And the elders need some place to walk and sit and enjoy a green space. And all they have around there at the moment is a sea of cement and parking lots and things like that.
So Friendly Streets, what is that?
You want to take it?
Why did you?
Okay. The Friendly Streets Initiative was actually an independent initiative that started to do community events around placemaking and around making streets and areas of the city more pedestrian friendly and more livable. And so we, as the Union Park District Council, have partnered with the Friendly Streets folks to put on some of these events. And we had one recently in an area near the Snelling and Selby intersection that I was talking about earlier, because the residents right there in that area were particularly concerned about increased traffic coming down their street and so on with the development. So what we did is we had actually infrastructure changes modeled right in the street, like a rain garden and a parking spot, a parklet on the street, but there was sports in the street. We had a basketball hoop. And then we had a gallery of images, like traffic circles and other kinds of diverters and medians and street art and things that people could vote on and say, I really like this for my area or my street, or I really don't like this idea for my street. And we had surveys. And the idea is that everyone comes out and has free food and live music and has entertainment, and then can also think about ways to really make their street a better place to live. And the Friendly Streets Initiative has been having these street parties around the city. We have a really exciting one coming up on Fairview. There's a light rail stop right at Fairview and University, but to access it from Union Park, you have to go under this horribly dark underpass, if you're familiar with it, right under 94. And so what we're trying to do is have an underpass under party where we will highlight the underpass and do the same thing, where we'll get the Friendly Streets folks to come in and bring great ideas for changes that we can make to make it much more pedestrian friendly and accessible for both bikes and walkers and public transportation users and so on. So,
Friendly Streets is aiming to get different people to come out. So there are a lot of things to interest young people. So there were children's activities to do at the Friendly Streets that was done, and we think the party under the bridge on Fairview is going to attract youth, hopefully, because it's sort of a hip, fun kind of thing to do.
So I think the projects are really exciting because it's great community engagement. It's a great community event, but it also is a way for people to feel like they have some input into changes that can be made in the neighborhood. So I love that combination. It's a really fun activity to be involved in.
Yeah.
Why is a district council important to the life of a community?
I joined the district council in 2006, and I actually I retired at that point because I wanted to work on community issues. And what I saw was that this was a great way for people to really to get involved in their community and actually influence the way things happen. So one of the things we do on the land use committee is we, when somebody wants to put in a new building or change something, they often have to get a variance to be able to do it if it doesn't fit within the regulations. And they come to us for us to review it. And we're the people who live here. And so we really know, what would work and what would work. And we either, we only make recommendations. We don't have the power to actually vote on something. But we can recommend or not recommend a particular variance. And that's an important thing to be able to do. The other reason that I joined the district council was that I knew the planning for the Green Line was going on, was beginning, and a coalition was being set up of all the district councils along the Green Line to be able to deal with this huge project. And I was really interested in that. I felt as if for St. Paul, it was critical to get this light rail line for the city to thrive and be connected to Minneapolis in an efficient way for people to get around. And so part of the reason I joined the district council was to work on that. And different people join for different reasons. They often have an issue that's right directly in their neighborhood, a house next door that draws them to it, and then they become interested in the larger neighborhood and connected with more of the neighborhood. And I think it's a very unusual system, the district council system, and I just think it's terrific.
Yeah. I think the fact that St. Paul has the district council system demonstrates how important it is for the city decision makers to hear from the community. It's really a structured way for all of us community members to speak to the city decision makers about a variety of decisions. It's not just a neighborhood association. It does function as a neighborhood association, and that part is fun. But it's also really important that we have an opportunity to talk with decision makers through the district council. So it's one of the great things about this job, I think, is that you have the fun kind of community engagement, event planning side of things, but you also have the real policy side of things where you really get to go down to City Hall and speak on behalf of certain things that your community feels strongly about, and people will listen. So it's a really exciting place to be.
Well, and we actually mention our city council. We have a part of our district in 2 city council wards, and so we have a really close relationship with our city council members. We have Ward 1 and Ward 4, and they work closely with us on the Snelling Selby issues. They were very much involved, and So we send policy issues through them to the district council, and they kind of carry our ideas to the council. So they play an important part. And then, you know, on occasion, when we need the mayor to come and be involved, for example, when we were trying to get green space around Skyline Tower, we got the mayor to come, and the residents had collected 400 postcards from residents saying why they needed the green space, all the different reasons. And we presented that to the mayor, and so got him and his office engaged. So it's just really, it's a powerful thing, even though, and we have to keep emphasizing this, we don't actually vote on something and make it happen, but we make a recommendation, and that's taken seriously by the city.
Mm-hmm. Well, you all have something exciting coming up on August 2nd. Can you tell me about that event?
Sure. This is our second annual ice cream, peanut butter, and jam coming up on August 2nd. It's called ice cream, peanut butter, and jam for a really important reason. There's free ice cream from Izzy's. That's the ice cream part. The peanut butter part is that we're asking that everyone bring a jar of peanut butter as a donation for Food Shelf. And the jam part is, of course, the live music. And there'll be live music in Miriam Park, which is where the event is located, from noon until 9. From noon till about 4, we're having kids events and a lot of kind of more family-focused music. And then the event will continue on until 9 o'clock in the evening. So it's a big fundraiser for us. It's a wonderful way for us to work with Parks and Rec and co-sponsor this event. It's a great community building event. So we're hoping everyone will come out on August 2nd to Miriam Park.
Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, you should come.
I will. I will. Can you all tell me, do you have a website for your district, and how do people get involved if they want to get involved?
We do have a website. It's unionparkdc.org. And they can email me at julie@unionparkdc.org if they're interested in getting involved, or just check out the website. We have a lot of interesting committees, and as the chair of land use, we've got a neighborhood issues committee. We've got Parks and Rec and fundraising. There's a lot going on, and a lot of task force being developed. A lot of things to do within the district. So.
Yeah, and we're more and more, Julie is very active in getting out into the community and meeting people. We're doing a lot more knocking on doors and introducing the district council. And it's just a terrific way, and people can get involved at whatever level they're interested in. And so we try to find out what their particular interest is and see if we can plug them in one way or another to participate, even if it's just coming to the event on August 2nd, or we have another event that we're going to be doing with the business district on the 9th of August, where we're going to walk from the business district at Snelling and Selby up to the Green Line Snelling station and back again. So that's encouraging people to walk more and seeing how many steps it is to walk from the Snelling Selby area up to the station.
Well, thank you ladies so much for hanging out with me this afternoon.
Thank you so much for your time.
It was fun. Thanks.
Thanks. We'll be right back. That's it for this month. Thanks for watching.